Hello everybody, I am the Basement Reviewer, and welcome to Season 2. I have been searching far and wide for a show bad enough to start off my newest season. A show that made no sense in its inception and, this is important, was even worse in its execution. And it had to be on Nickelodeon, because I decided to start off Season 2 in my second ever Nickvember. And guys, I think I may have found that show. Alright, let's talk YouTube. It's a platform I'm sure you've heard about. I mean, I can guarantee you've heard about it. You're watching this video on YouTube, correct? I mean, unless someone uploaded this like Vimeo or whatever. But either way, let's talk about something you're less familiar with, okay? Let's take it back 9 years ago, to 2009. 2009 was actually a pretty big year for YouTube because one major event happened. The first ever YouTuber hit 1 million subscribers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Was he a funny gamer? Did he make clever skits? Or was he just a super informative person in general? No. The first ever YouTuber to hit 1 million subscribers was called Fred. And his big shtick was he had a high-pitched voice that he pitched up to make it sound like one of the chipmunks. And, to be fair, Fred is not the worst thing ever. It isn't really offensive aside from parts of his animated show, but that's a tale for another day. And, honestly, he just kinda made random videos. He really wasn't as bad as a lot of people made him seem. At least the channel avoided controversy. Granted, back then, controversy among YouTube was not half as common as it is now. In fact, his channel itself was very simple. The topics discussed in videos were usually pretty common things to be in a sitcom. I mean, it was essentially just telling the life of an exaggerated character. I mean, that's essentially what Fred is. He's an exaggerated 6-year-old. By these facts, though, and what his channel was, you'd assume that no big companies would really try to turn him into anything more than a YouTube channel. His content didn't really give much to work with. Nickelodeon apparently saw otherwise. Because they did not just give this guy one movie. They gave him 3 and a TV show. The funny part is you think I'm kidding. Today we will be discussing the show because I don't want to talk about the movies because that's just too much Fred. And if you want to watch those, I'm sure you can find several other reviewers. I mean, like I Hate Everything did a whole video about all 3 of them. So I don't need to discuss that. Today we're talking about the show. It's a lot easier, a lot quicker, and it gives me time to work on other projects that I have on the back burner. Anyway, in regards to the show itself, I really could have selected any episode from it. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of selected a random episode, the one that sounded the most interesting. The reason I did this is because the show itself suffers from the same problems episode to episode, so really, episode choice didn't matter. So, today we're going over the Battle of Little Figglehorn. The reason being, I don't know, selected it randomly, like I said. Either way, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. To start off with, there is a major editing issue. It is edited like one of Fred's videos. And I get it, that's what they were going for. They were trying to make it look like one of his YouTube videos. But it looks really amateur, and I know. That's really hypocritical coming from me. However, they have professionals doing the editing, whereas I'm just one guy editing these videos. And even then, they're also on a big network. They're on Nickelodeon. I could tolerate like his YouTube videos because it's just one guy. I can understand that. But when you're on a big network, you want your editing to at least look better in the parts where you're not trying to make it look like a YouTube video. And hint, it doesn't. Either way, the story begins, and Fred is sick of life at home. He just wants to ship himself to Hawaii, but his mom, who is, by the way, an utter failure at her job, reveals they are going to move to America's other disconnected child, Alaska. Now, I'm going to go off on a bit of tangent here because I just need to say this. Why is it that in media, why do so many parents, whenever they move, not tell their kid until like the last couple days? This isn't just this. I mean, this was like in Inside Out. That was a problem that I had with that, and that's my favorite movie of all time. However, here it's kind of given a reason. According to the episode, she's being transferred. And she was originally fired, but the mom moved her way up to transferred. And so they're transferring her in 2 days. What kind of job would transfer someone to Alaska? Because, based on look at this, they're somewhere, I'm going to say like Nebraska. Because that's where I'm from, that's where Fred was from. That's pretty dang far to move on a 2 days notice. Not to mention, throughout this whole episode, there is no sign of packing, no sign of Fred actually getting ready to move. It's just used an excuse for the plot to happen. And the plot? Oh, it happens. But either way, I'm getting off topic. Let's continue. Fred then does a complete 180 and states how he loves his home, and he throws a temper tantrum at the news. By the way, Fred is in high school. I get that he's going to be upset that they're moving, but the way he reacts is more akin to like a 5-year-old. Either way, so far, the episode has been filler. It's been full of it. The tantrum itself is filler. The whole beginning plan to go to Hawaii is filler. And no, it doesn't come back. And it's very weird because they rushed the explanation for this sudden move. My point here is that they are putting time and effort into the wrong place. They should instead be establishing more into why they have to move so quickly instead of the brief 2-second reason we get. And I get it. It's freaking Fred the show. It's a comedy. It shouldn't have to worry too much about plot, but at the same time, I shouldn't be thinking about this then. The comedy should be funny enough that I don't even think about that. They then go into a montage, which isn't funny, but it could be great setup. I mean, that's what a montage is for. They're used to set up something, typically. That or a joke. But here's the thing. It's not funny, and it doesn't set up for anything. All it establishes is Fred likes Holly and dislikes Kevin. And it's all about him having the best day ever. And it shows him doing a bunch of stuff. That could have been mildly funny if they had put him actually trying to do it and failing in the episode, like using the Force. They could have probably come up with a couple of funny things for that. My point is, the montage is filler. It isn't even remotely fun. The next day comes. And here's the thing with this day. It's the last day, so Fred does not have any consequences, supposedly. He comes to school, and he sees the girl he likes, Holly. So, what does he begin to do? Well, like any normal human YouTube sitcom person, he harasses the girl he likes, who does not even really notice him. And he straight up kisses her on the lips, without asking, without permission, or anything. This is a role model. This is the main character. This is our heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a shame this is happening so late. We could have really had something special, kid.
Fred, what are...
Shush, 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 shush. Do not speak. Let our lips do the talking.
Fred, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed right now. But it doesn't matter because I'm moving tomorrow, so my actions have 0 consequences. Yeah, my face is turning bright red. Because I know it's Holly's favorite color.
Fred then goes to history class, and we get to see one of the most awkward teachers I've ever seen in any form of media.
My future, Mr. Maze. My life has changed completely in a matter of days. I totally just rhymed.
Please pay attention, or you'll get detention. Ha! I did too.
You know,
I just don't think he was really given much direction on this. And he's not alone in that. Either way, bad joke about how Fred's an idiot and he leaves class. Then the strangest part of all, someone liking school food. Also, why do so many fictional schools have lunch outside? I've literally never seen that at any of the schools I know of. So if you do, be sure to let me know. Either way, I guess it's just one of the mysteries I will never solve. Then we get a really awkward moment of Fred going after Kevin without provocation. And I get it, Fred's the victim. Kevin's the bully. Sorry, I almost got confused there because Fred's acting like the bully. Fred's going after Kevin here with no provocation. And I get it, he's done terrible stuff to Fred and whatnot, but everything that happens in this episode is completely uncalled for on Fred's part. He's going after Kevin excessively. And he reveals stuff that I don't even want to know how Fred knows.
Wow, Kevin. Actually, I thought your little caveman buddies might want to know that you sleep with footy pajamas and have Taylor Swift karaoke jam sessions in your mirror using your lacrosse stick as a microphone. Oh, yeah, love story, Taylor Swift.
Unfortunately, Fred does not get his face squashed in by Kevin. In fact, he ends up winning. He gets called out by someone, so he insults them and begins to get ready for his fight with Kevin. And by get ready, I mean, like every time a fictional character is challenged to a fight after school, just hides. Again, a lot of this episode is filler. Most of the middle part is stuff that does not come back, which is terrible pacing. The middle is where things must be building up to the climax. Otherwise, your story is incomplete. And I get it's a comedy. I get story is not its focus. But that doesn't mean you should throw it out the window completely. You should still have a story that connects. And a lot of this episode's problems come from the pacing. I can't get invested in the characters because I don't care about what happens. Fred is a jerk. Why would I care about him winning? Kevin's kind of a jerk too. I don't necessarily want to see him win, but I would rather see him win than Fred. And that is a problem when you want the main character to lose. And clearly, that is not the intention of the writers. They write Fred as though he's the good guy. And honestly, that's kind of what pees me off the most. I could get past this. I could move on. This would be a lot better if they tried writing it a little bit more like Fred is not as good as he seems. If they stopped writing Fred as the good guy. Because that's not. He's not. He's a terrible, terrible person. But I digress. The worst part is, it's not funny. And Fred is not an interesting character, so seeing him in these scenarios isn't interesting. And honestly, it was at this point of the episode that it fully dawned on me. Why would Nickelodeon, of any property they could have picked, take Fred? I get they were in kind of a dark place. They were kind of getting desperate at the time. But at the same time, why Fred? He is one of the worst choices you could possibly have picked. He's so lacking in substance that you had to go to cookie cutter plots. You had to go to freaking the most cliche things imaginable to make this character work. His main claim to fame is being annoying. And I get it, SpongeBob's annoying. So of course you've seen it work before. But SpongeBob is also really well written. Fred is not. Whoever's writing this show did not write it well enough to make him interesting or make us care at all. Either way, let's just continue on. I want to get this review done, so I gotta stop getting on these tangents. Another thing is, this school has no security. Fred just gets away with everything. He gets away with being a creep to Holly and bullying Kevin. And here's the thing. The only type of punishment we ever see is the fact that Kevin was apparently threatened to be sent to military school if he gets into one more fight.
Hey! No fighting, bro. The principal said one more and you're getting shipped off to military school. Relax.
I will destroy you!
Excuse me? Is there not going to be any punishment for all the crap Fred did? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been the worst in this episode. Kevin has done absolutely nothing. Either way, it goes on. Especially when we find out that Fred's mom got her original job back by threatening her boss, which in most real-world scenarios would get you fired. But since this is Fred, the exact opposite happens. It just gets her job back.
Fred, good news. I threatened the boss with a beatdown, so I get to keep my job. We're not moving to Alaska? Mom.
So they're not moving to Alaska. The fight comes, and Fred is the bigger man and refuses to fight. I hate this ending. It's not clever. It's not original. And it is insulting that Fred is shown as mature at all. I mean, honestly, Holly goes up to him, says that's the most mature thing she's seen. And then Kevin is told to act like Fred? So, what's Kevin gonna do? Begin picking on people when he has an advantage and thinks that there will be no consequences because he's moving? I swear, this is... And... either way, that was the battle for Little Figglehorn. It was a confused mess of an episode that feels like it was written by different writers with competing goals. Looking back, I was really hard on Henry Danger, but it's not even close to being next work's sitcom. Because Fred the Show not only takes a cake, it takes a cake, runs 5 miles with it, goes over to its mother's house, gets over to the airport, flies away, goes to NASA, shoots itself up to Mars, out of the solar system. It's so far out that it's past the boundaries of our galaxy, past the boundaries of our universe. With filler that takes place in an 11-minute episode, unoriginal plots, non-existent comedy, and one of the worst characters I've ever seen. It has more than earned its spot for my Season 2 premiere. But with that said, let me know what you think of this episode. I'll be happy to reply to any questions you may have. If you want to see more of my reviews, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. With that said, I have to go watch something better for November. Have a nice day. And please, avoid Fred the Show at all costs. Hello everybody, it's the Base Reviewer here, just doing a quick little after video thing. Just want to let you guys know that I have a gaming channel now. That's links in the description. I'm still working out things about it though, so don't expect consistent uploads quite yet. Although once things start going, I will try to keep that one more consistent than this channel. Other than that, thank you for joining me for this November, and I hope you have a great day.